Today's video is going to be a bit different, but I bet you'll enjoy it. Recently, I made this post on Twitter that went way more viral than expected. Now don't get me wrong, I expected the post to do okay, especially since I've been cooking on Twitter lately, mainly because I really want to get that account monetized. But I digress. Many of the responses to my post are downright delusional, from completely missing what I said to somehow thinking these outfits look the same. Are you blind? Are you? How can you think these two outfits look the same? Mortal Kombat 11 Sindel had arguably one of the best outfits in the entire series, whereas Mortal Kombat 1 Sindel has arguably the worst costume she's ever had in the entire series. And today, allow me to explain why. I'll point out why this outfit fails and also how I would personally fix it. But real quick, listen up. I actually enjoy most of the costumes in Mortal Kombat 1 and think they range from great to just okay. I don't honestly consider any of them to be terrible, including the Sindel costume. However, it is guilty of being boring, especially for the Queen of Outworld. This outfit makes Sindel look like a background character when she should be upstaging her daughter's outfits in every way. As the Gen Z kids would say, she should slay. So for today's video, I want to explain exactly why this costume fails and also how I personally would improve Sindel's look in Mortal Kombat 1. Now with that all said, my opinions are not fact, and you can choose to prefer whichever costume you want. But as someone who draws constantly, has created multiple comic books, and also loves studying character design, I really wanted to make this video. In fact, I even redesigned Li Mei's outfit as well, so if this video does well and gets a lot of views and likes, etc., then I'll be happy to make a sequel about her design change as well. But alright, here we go. How to fix Sindel's costume in Mortal Kombat 1. In order to improve this costume, we first need to explain why it's flawed. Number 1. Random belts and straps everywhere that do absolutely nothing. In Mortal Kombat X, the characters had lots of straps too, but they were actually holding the costume together. So even though the outfits were very cluttered with belts and straps, I still understood why they were there. They held the outfit together, they served a purpose. But Mortal Kombat 1 Sindel is wearing a skin-tight bodysuit, so the belts are not holding it together. And they're also not supporting any armor or other stuff like that, which is the case for Kitana and Melina. For Pete's sake, just one of Sindel's legs alone has 10 different straps, and they're not even supporting anything. They're just there. Which honestly reminds me a lot of superhero movies lately. Yes, cue the comparisons, but whether it's Marvel or DC, a lot of modern superhero costumes just have random lines and stuff going everywhere for no reason. One of my favorite examples, or maybe I should say least favorite examples, is The Flash. Look at this outfit. There's just tons of lines and random straps and stuff going everywhere. And to me personally, and also a bunch of fans, I think it just looks cluttered and ruins the original design. And Sindel's costume in Mortal Kombat 1 has a very similar issue. There's so many straps and random bits of metal too, and I think it's meant to give the illusion of complexity, but instead her costume just looks over-designed and random. To anyone watching this video who wants to design their own characters, just know that if you're gonna put belts and straps on a character, then please have them doing something supportive. Give them a reason to be there, because otherwise you'll end up like Sindel, who looks like she spends hours just strapping buckles for no reason. Now if everybody else in Outworld had random straps and belts like her, then maybe the outfit would be okay. Similar to a Final Fantasy character, right? In those games, everybody has tons of straps and belts that don't really do anything, but it's more acceptable because everybody dresses that way, so it's cohesive, you know, it's consistent in that universe. But in Mortal Kombat games, especially the recent ones, outfits tend to feel more realistic, like the belts and straps actually do something, but not Sindel. They're just there and they're everywhere. Alright, issue number 2. Let's address the elephant in the room. Skin-colored fabric. Like seriously, it does not look good. But I do understand what NetherRealm was trying to do here. The fabric is meant to make the costume look revealing, but without having to actually show any skin. Because Sindel is the Queen of Outworld, maybe she would not want to show a bunch of skin because maybe it undermines her authority or something like that, and as a result she wears skin-colored fabric instead. For example, this area is meant to evoke a swimsuit bottom, similar to how she dressed in Mortal Kombat 3, and this area above is meant to look like cleavage, also like Mortal Kombat 3 Sindel. Oh, and look, even her side leg is exposed. Just kidding, it's more skin fabric. Again, it's meant to show skin without showing skin. I understand the intention, but this skin-toned fabric just does not look good. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. I showed this design to a bunch of my lady friends, and a lot of them said, ew. Like straight up, they were grossed out. Now, to be fair, I showed them older Sindel designs first, which is maybe why they found the MK1 design so repulsive, but the point stands, it's not just me who thinks this. And I wanted to address that right now, because people do tend to lie about me online. I don't think a sexy costume is automatically better. Outfits don't need to look revealing in order to look great. In fact, I think a costume can look amazing without any sex appeal at all. I don't prefer MK11 Sindel because she's showing more skin or because she has more curves. The outfit itself is all I'm judging. Even if you put this outfit on a ghost with completely transparent skin, the MK11 costume is much better. The simple reality is you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want an outfit to look sexy and more revealing, then you must commit. Or if you want the outfit to look reserved and more regal, then you must commit. You don't want to get stuck in some weird middle ground, because an outfit like that is almost impossible to make appealing. Because the fans who want a revealing costume aren't going to be happy, and the fans who want a non-revealing costume aren't going to be happy either, because it just looks weird. In fact, many months ago, when Sindel first got revealed in a Mortal Kombat 1 trailer, one fan made a quick edit and colored all the skin fabric parts black, and guess what? It looked okay. It actually looked decent. Still nowhere near as good as her MK11 outfit, but much better than what we got. And in fact, even the concept art does not have the skin-toned fabric. It's gray instead. Okay, so we covered all the random straps and buckles everywhere, and also the skin-toned fabric that also looks terrible. So next up, allow me to compliment some things that I actually do like about this design. The metal armor on her chest going downward is an obvious reference to Mortal Kombat 3, and I find that cool in concept. However, in practice, it doesn't look very good, and I bet most players didn't even notice the reference. They likely just thought it was random metal instead of being a throwback to her original design in Mortal Kombat 3. Next up, let's talk about headgear. Some of it actually does look good in Mortal Kombat 1, despite how terrible the original crown looks. And sadly, we're stuck with that even on the character select screen, which I hate. Who thought this looked good? It's such a weird crown, which is unfortunate because some of the crowns and headgear for Sindel actually do look good in this game. Next up, let's talk about her shoes, which are also interesting and unique while still looking elegant and royal. I definitely do like how Sindel's shoes are different from everybody else's. Now that being said, what happened to the boots? I feel like Sindel should always be wearing boots because that's what makes her different from a lot of the other characters. Giving Sindel some knee-high boots would be a great way to set her apart from her daughters in this game and also make her look a little bit tougher, a bit more like a girl boss, you know? I'm a fan of her gauntlet that's on one hand, and just the one hand. It looks regal but also a bit sinister too, which makes you wonder if Sindel might go evil at some point in the story. And I like that implication. This weird claw on her left hand is cool. However, I don't like how it's on only one hand, because everything else about Sindel's costume is perfectly symmetrical, which does make this gauntlet less appealing because it breaks that balance completely. However, don't get me wrong, sometimes I love asymmetrical costumes, but it has to be in more than one area to keep things balanced. So for example, this costume for Sophicia in Soul Calibur looks amazing because it has asymmetry everywhere, and as a result, the costume still feels balanced even though it's not the same on both sides. But Sindel doesn't have that balance, right? It's just the one hand that looks different, and as a result, it feels kind of extra and a bit dumb. Alright, to end this video, there's one more point that I want to cover, and keep in mind that this can vary. It's not a steadfast rule that has to follow for every character design. However, a lot of the time when designing a costume for your character, you want to ask yourself, who would actually wear this? For example, Sindel's costume in Mortal Kombat 11 feels like something a queen would actually wear. It has long flowing fabric, shiny metal pieces to add elegance, and also it looks like something you could reasonably put on every day. Whereas Mortal Kombat 1 Sindel fails at basically all of this. Her outfit looks absurdly hard to put on, and also not something you would wear to show status. In fact, Katana looks more regal than Sindel does, which is ironic because she's meant to look more combat ready than Sindel. Oh, and by the way, I think Mileena and Katana both look great in this game. I just want to throw that out there. I would maybe make some subtle changes to their costumes if I could, absolutely, but for the most part, they look good. However, unfortunately, Sindel misses the mark with her outfit. It's way too complicated and doesn't even get across that Sindel is the queen of Outworld. And as a result, I can't see anyone preferring to wear the Mortal Kombat 1 costume over the MK11 one. It just looks better and easier to put on too. Which, as stated earlier, is not a set rule in stone. Sometimes characters can look cool just for the sake of looking cool, or look ridiculous for the sake of looking ridiculous. The outfits don't always need to look realistic or like something you can reasonably put on, but in Mortal Kombat 1, most outfits do follow that rule, and as a result, Sindel's outfit should follow those rules as well. In fact, now that I think about it, I do recall that NetherRealm said they wanted their new costumes to be cosplayable, you know, reasonably so. As in, anyone who loves cosplay could reasonably make these outfits, but Sindel's outfit just can't do that. It's way too complicated. Because while I have seen people cosplaying it, they do so with a skin-tight suit that has all the straps and stuff just printed on it. They're not actually straps and buckles, which is understandable, because if you actually did want to have all the straps and buckles and belts and all that stuff, then Sindel's outfit in Mortal Kombat 1 would be a cosplayer's worst nightmare. And by the way, this rule applies for the men too, right? If the outfit design gets way too complicated, then it might be time to dial it back. Alright everyone, there's my personal opinions for why the Mortal Kombat 1 Sindel costume does not succeed. So now finally it's time to show you my design. Let me go ahead and throw it up on screen and talk about it. First up, the collar. I feel like Sindel's collar from Mortal Kombat 3 is way too iconic to leave out, so I brought it back. In the original MK1 costume, the collar is kind of implied, but it's way too subtle. I say crank it up because it helps show status, right? Look at this giant collar. You can tell she's the queen. And before going any lower on the costume, let's talk about the makeup. I wanted to bring back the gothic elements of Sindel's design. Some people might argue the eyes should not be white because she's not undead in this game, but I've never understood that perspective because Tanya hasn't died but still has the white eyes, and in past games Reiko had white eyes but was not undead. So I don't think dying is a requirement for the white eyes. It could just show power like it does with Raiden. His eyes are solid white because he's really powerful. But even if we can't bring back the solid white eyes, I still think the purple dots above her eyebrows and the purple eyeshadow and especially the dark purple lipstick are a must for Sindel, because she's always been a goth mommy. That's how players know her, so you want to keep that consistent. But alright, let's head down a bit. I made the metal on her chest way more apparent and it connects all the way down to her belt, but also I removed all the random straps and belts that aren't doing anything. Also, I removed all the skin-toned fabric and instead replaced it with black fabric and way more purple. I don't get why Kitana and Melina have tons of color, but Sindel is mostly not her main color. There's lots of gray and skin-tone fabric and not enough purple. Sindel is purple. Give her more purple. Next up, we have the belt and sash, which I just felt like adding to make her feel different from past designs because Mortal Kombat 1 is meant to be different in some ways, right? It's a fresh start. And as a result, I wanted to add something new that makes her stand out from past designs without abandoning design elements that make her recognizable to fans. But next up, we have the legs. I removed all the random straps and belts. Instead, it's just the skin-tight fabric, and more importantly, it's got two tones to it, black and purple. Because once again, we're keeping the goth elements while also having lots of purple, right? Purple and black is what Sindel's known for. And then finally, to finish off this design, we have the boots. More specifically, the knee-high boots, because that's one more design element of Sindel that fans love, right? The big knee-high boots. In fact, maybe I should have gone higher and had the boots go all the way to the middle of her thigh. But then again, if I did that, maybe it would contrast too hard with her daughters, and I wanted there to be some cohesiveness between all three of their designs. But alright everyone, there you have it. If I was in charge of redesigning Sindel for Mortal Kombat 1, here's the design I would have gone with. It's just complicated enough without going overboard. It's not over-designed with a bunch of straps and belts, but also the color is more prominent too, along with several gothic elements that Sindel is known for. So let me know in the comments how you feel about this design. Do you think it's better or worse? And give me a reason why. As mentioned earlier at the very start of this video, it's very different than what I normally make on this channel, but hopefully still you enjoyed. If so, then feel free to leave a like down below, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.